Oh, yeah, what a long fucking year I said at the end of 2024. Oh, if only you knew. Yeah, so 2025. That was quite something, wasn't it? Uh, Not gonna get into politics, but I don't know, it wasn't fun for me. At least, look, I'm not gonna get into that. Point is, we are at the end of another year. It is currently December 29th as I'm recording this. And so, I think we all know what that means. And what that means is that it is time for me to go through all of the trip trailers for 2025, discuss them, and, just generally talk about things. Now, there are a couple of special episodes that did not get trailers. The Eugene trip in the end of June, beginning of July, didn't make a trailer for that. And then the 2 overnights in Northeast Oregon in October didn't make a trailer for that because, well, honestly, my rule for making a trailer is if I think I'm going to need to make specialized intros and outros for that video, it gets a trailer. But if I don't, then it doesn't get a trailer. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. Let's get into reviewing well, honestly, there's only really 2 trailers for us to work with here, which is why, as I often do, I am going to talk about some other things. Like, there's a scrapped trailer for a trip that we never actually went on, but I made the trailer for because we had the hotel reservations made, and then our plans changed. I will elaborate on that when we get there. So, anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so to begin, we start off with the first trailer I made for the year, which was rail fanning March 15th to March 21st, 2025, Western Oregon and Columbia Gorge 2025, in which we rail fanned the Columbia Gorge and Western Oregon. For this trailer, I used The Cost of Enlightenment from the PlanetSide 2 OST. Also, sorry if my nose sounds a little stuffy. I have a bit of a cold going on right now. Love winter. Anyway, yeah. To sort of mirror how I used Glory to the Republic for the first trailer of 2024, I used a different faction theme song for the first trailer of 2025, even though it was objectively a much smaller scale trip. So yeah, let's just jump right into it. Well, I think that trip very much lived up to the hype of that trailer, which, that's why I refer to them internally as hype trailers. the file name for that one, because hype trailer for a trip of March 2025. Therefore, HT underscore 0325.mp4. Just a little look into my internal naming scheme there. Anyway, next up, before I launch into the big guy for this year, we're going to have a little look at a scrapped trailer for a scrapped trip. And that would, in fact, be the trailer for Rail Fanning May 31st to June 6th, 2025. Arizona 2025, Return to the Southern Transcon. Now, you might notice that trip didn't happen. And that is because, well, about 2 months out from the start of that, I was like, you know what? What if we did something different? And my parents agreed. And so the summer trip we wound up going on came to fruition. But without further ado, I'm gonna show you the scrapped trailer. You might find some similarities in things I've already posted. Yeah, very familiar, isn't it? I mean, the structure of the first whole part of the trailer is the same, and the OST is the same. And that OST is the Russian from the Rise of Nations OST. Now, I'm not talking about your little Roblox game. I'm talking about the original Rise of Nations RTS game for, like, Windows XP. The soundtrack is an absolute banger. And so, honestly, I was like, you know what? This fits. I'll use it for the big summer trip trailer this year. And so I did. Now, let's have a look at the version you're familiar with. So yeah, April 20th, 2025. That is when we changed our plans from Arizona to the Midwest. And honestly, I think we're all the better for it because Midwest was a lot more fun than Arizona. I mean, Arizona's lovely, and we were originally going to go over to Topak on the Arizona California border on the Colorado River and, see BNSF trains crossing that river there, and it would have been pretty cool. But, I was just like, I was planning to go to La Plata on my own, in my own car this year, but my parents did not really like the idea of me driving, 3,000 miles round trip on my own. And so they're like, you know what? What if we made that a family trip and then also went up to Iowa to see my uncle? And we did, and it was a great time. And got to see a lot of things I wouldn't have gotten to see otherwise. So, anyway. A classic. And, well, also the last trailer of the year. Because, like I said at the beginning, the other two overnight trips we went on this year, I did not bother making trailers for. Because I didn't bother making specialized intros or outros for them. Because, well, it's Oregon. And I don't know, sometimes that merits a trailer, sometimes it doesn't. If I'd known the one at the end of June was going to be as relatively large scale as it was going to be, and with as much action, maybe I would have bothered making a proper trailer for it, but I didn't. So, anyway, that brings us to the end of a honestly rather short trip trailers overview for 2025. Now, that being said, we've got some big, big stuff in the works for 2026. I'm not going to spoil anything just yet, but, okay, well, you know what? If you've watched this far into the video and you're still listening to me yap, even though the actual content is over, um, let's just say you will find out more information on July 1st, 2026. Okay? You will find out more information on July 1st, 2026 at 5 p.m. July 1st, 2026, 5 p.m. Be there.